Hello everyone, very good morning and welcome to the OData Made Easy course. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the batch call. What's the meaning of batch call and what's the use of batch call and why it is required and how we can achieve it. So batch call, generally this um, meaning of batch call means group of call. That means group of multiple call, group of multiple calls. Okay, that means group of multiple requests. So at this point of time, whatever we have seen till now, it was a single request. Now suppose if you have to do the multiple request at a one go, how you can do. So this multiple request functionality in one go is the feature of OData V2 version 2. Earlier, before OData version 2, it was not there. Okay, so the meaning of batch call means group of call, group of multiple calls or requests. So generally when we put the multiple calls, all these calls are logically related to each other. So for example, if you have to create the multiple sales order, right, then you can use the a batch call. So in one go, 4 sales orders, 5 sales order like that, if you have to create, then for each sales order, we can create the payload and we can pass together. So once you understand the concept here at backend, in the same way, we'll have to prepare the data from the UI5 and send to the gateway system in order to create, in order to achieve the batch call. Before going ahead and see the demonstration, let's have a quick recap what we have done in our last class. Last class we have discussed about the saddle framework. That's the service adaptation description language, very powerful framework. It gives a lot of flexibility, right? And then we have seen that the auditor service creation basically is of two types, ABAP code based and the using saddle framework. Then we have seen the different way of achieving the saddle, right? So saddle a different way. So one is using the annotation in the CDS, another is using the mapping editor, okay, and another using the CDS references. So all these three we have seen, and here we are having the comparison between them. Let's go to the system and try to understand about the batch call real-time example. Okay, so here go to the system. So here we'll understand, the concept. Okay, and once we learn the concept, it will be very much clear. So go to SCGW transaction and then going to choose this one, because here we are having uh, the post operation as well as the get operation, both is implemented over here. Okay, and the data model, we are going to choose the business partner. So first I will be showing you, suppose if you have to fetch the data using the multiple get operation, how you can club together in the single batch operation. So let's go to the gateway over here, click on this SAP gateway client, and here go to the entity set, BP set, and already I'm having the business partner. So single business partner I want to receive. Click on this execute button, and here you can see that we are having the detail of a single business partner. Now my requirement is that I want to receive multiple business partner using the multiple payload. you know. Here one request is this, another request maybe here the 14, then another request something like here the 15, so like that, you know. So all these requests together, it is not, you will not be able to pass at the same time, right here. But suppose if you want to pass the multiple requests together, that concept is known as the batch call. So for that purpose, what actually you will have to do that, let's try to achieve this particular behavior. How to do? I want to retrieve this also. I want to retrieve this also. I want to retrieve this also in single go. Okay. So I'll copy and paste this one, or maybe here also we can keep it. There is no issue. And in order to do that, click on this plus button, and under the content type, you will have to tell to the system that you are sending the mix request, you are sending the group of request, you are sending the multiple request. And for that purpose, here you will have to write multi-part. From the multi-part means multiple part you are sending, multiple part of the request you are sending, or the mixed request you are sending. So content type is going to be the multi-part slash mixed, then give the semicolon. And after that, you will have to define the boundary value. What is this boundary value? This gives the unique name for your request. Okay. So here boundary, then equals, and give the name of the request. So I'm just giving batch underscore 001. This name can be anything. Okay. This name you can give anything based upon your convenient. So batch underscore 001 over here I have given, and then what you will have to do it over here. So my first requirement, what I'm trying to achieve, I want to pass multiple call request, get request, read request. Okay. Then after I will show you some read request along with the post request at the same time, how you will be able to do so. And then we will see the benefit of doing all these things. Okay. So here, now once you do, you'll have to write it over here. You'll have to tell to the system, start my batch call, and the same name, what you have given over here. So underscore 001, so you are starting your batch call using this naming batch underscore 001. After that, you will have to tell in this, separate call you are going to send. So for each separate call, you are going to tell the content type. Okay. So the content type is going to be application slash HTTP as usual. And then the content transfer encoding is going to be binary. Okay. So this is what you are going to have. And after that, you can write your, fetch operation. So this is what you have, the get operation, fetch operation, read operation, right? So remove this is not required from the beginning. Just you put the get operation over here, get, BP set, and all this. So first, let me show you the single one, how the single one you can achieve, and then I will be putting over here one more. Okay. And once your batch request is going to get complete, here copy this same batch and paste it over here. And whenever you are ending your batch call, make sure that you give the double hyphen. So with the double hyphen at last, system understand this is the end of the batch call. Okay. So in beginning, you can see I'm not giving double hyphen over here, right? Here I'm giving double hyphen so that system is able to understand, okay, this is the end of the batch call. Okay. So this is for beginning and this is for ending. Okay. So content type application slash HTTP, content transfer encoding binary, get ET these things, and then the batch underscore 001. See, whenever you are having the get operation over here, you are going to read the data. Okay, you are going to read the data. When you have to fire the batch call here at the service endpoint, you will have to give the batch edition. At the service, this is the service endpoint, right? Not at the entity set endpoint. Entity set endpoint is not required. Directly at the service endpoint, because entity set here you are giving. Okay, so directly at the service endpoint, you have to give the $batch edition. Once you are giving the $batches edition, system understands, okay, you are firing the batch call now and going to look for this particular, boundary. And with this boundary, it's able to find, and this is the first call information. For the first call information, content type is application slash HTTP, and then the content transfer encoding binary and the get. This is what you are having, and here one more addition you will have to give slash HTTP hypertext transfer protocol slash 1.1. Okay, so method and MIME 1.1 HTTP slash 1.1. Now all the batch call is going to be there in the post form. All the batch call is going to be there in the post form, whether it is the get, whether you are going to read, or you are going to post, or you are going to update, or you are going to modify, whatever. It's always going to be in form of post call, right? If you want to remember how, or if you want to just understand why everything is going to be there in the post call, maybe one way how you can remember that, at left hand side, we are preparing the payload, right? And if we're going to use the get, it's not going to work. It's everything going to be removed, right? So that may be one proper reason to understand or to remember. So just you have to remember all the batch call need to be fired with the post operation. Okay, if you are going to put it over a $batch, it's always going to be post operation, not get, put, patch, or other things. Always it's going to be post. It's going to be post. So batch is always going to be post. Okay, select this post over here now. Now we are done with the here, the content type also we have created, and let's go and see if it's working fine or not. Click on this execute, and here it's telling the bad request. Okay, here it's telling the bad request, means something is wrong. Let's see what's the wrong over here. Content hyphen batch underscore 001. This is fine. Then content type, this also looks good. Application slash HTTP, that is also fine. The content transfer encoding is binary, right? Then this get ETBP set, that was also looking correct only, right? And here this is fine. 1, 2, 3. This space also matters a lot. I will be talking about this space. Just, let me execute first. Yeah, and this time you can see that it's working fine. So this was the matter of a space. Okay, I will be showing you about the space, but let me tell you, if this binary were going to mark it, means just I want to show you whether this is going to be the case sensitive or not, so that you will not get confused. So click on this execute. It's working, right? So just observe that if I'm marking this B, a smaller capital, there is no problem. It's working. It's returning your data over here. See this data for this 13 number request, for this 13 number business partner. Here you can see that you have the data over here, right? Data you have. So it's returning. Now let's suppose here if we're going to Here you have the transfer. If you're going to give the capital S over here, right? It's working or not. You can see that it's working. So you don't have to bother from the, case sensitivity point of view, right? So here, yeah, I have shown you some examples over here. So it does not matter, but generally, if you see here, it will be capital over here. C is going to be the capital, the beginning letter. T is going to be the capital. However, it does not matter, so you don't have to bother from case sensitivity point of view. The main bothering point, the main concerning point, the point of attention is, the space. After this, content transfer encoding colon binary, make sure that you have minimum 1 space and maximum 2 space. If you give more than 2 space, you can see that it's giving me the error, right? Telling that the bad request, right? So maximum you give the 2 space over here. 1 line space is this and another is this. So 2 space, and if you are running it, it's fetching the data properly. Okay, or minimum one also, if you are going, it will be working fine. See here, it's working fine. And the maximum over here after the gate and between the batch, next batch, right? So after the gate, make sure that you must have at least 2 space. Okay, so before gate you should have 1 minimum, maximum 2. After gate you should have maximum minimum 2 space. After that you can have a number of space, there is no problem, but minimum you should have the 2 space. So run this and you can see that it's working fine. And if I show you over here, single space I'm giving, and you will see that it will throw me an error. It will tell bad request, right? So minimum you have to give the 2 space over here, 1 and 1 2. And before this, minimum 1 and maximum 2. More than 2 if you're going to give, it will be giving you the error. Okay, so this is the point you will have to remember. Again, suppose if you want to fire one more query, so just copy this one, okay, and control V, right? So after gate, make sure 2, so 2 line space you are having, and before this gate again 1, and here 2, and here one more read operation for 14. I'm going to fire it. Okay, click on this execute, and this time you can see that there is no error, it's working fine. And here, here you will be having these two, one is for 13 and another is for 14. So let's say I'm just trying to show you that. So only we are able to see for 13, not for 14. Let's see what's the issue. This is for 13. HTTP 1.1 200. Okay, right? That means something is wrong, right? Something is wrong over here. Let's see what's the problem. 14 content type application / HTTP. This is also fine. Content transfer encoding binary, and where we are passing the second request, right? Here we are passing the second request, so it should work. It should work. It looks good for me, but still some problem is there. Some problem is there. Just I'm trying to identify that what's the problem. Okay, I got the problem. Here we are missing the batch. Okay, here we are missing the batch. The same batch actually will have to give it here also, right? And make sure after this gate you should have one more, space. This batch, again this, it looks good now. Let's fire the query, and this is fine. So come here, and I'm expecting it to return 13 information and 14 information. Just drag to the right, 13 we are having, and see for the 14. And this time you can see that it is showing for the 14 also, right? So the response, try to understand the response, how it's going to come. So the response, if you see here, the response, this is the first response. Okay, this is the first response. Again, here, uh, and here, so this is the first response, and then the second response we are having over here. Okay, this is the second response, and this is the first response. 200 means the read is successful. All right, that's the meaning of 200. Okay, and another response over here. Okay, so 2, and similarly, like if you want to put some more, just keep on giving like this. Make sure that 2 space it should be. So just I'm giving the 2 space, and then give the 15 over here, right? So like that, it's going to return you the multiple, so this time you will be having, so this is the first one, right? And now go for the second one over here. And now you can see that you are able to get the all three, all the, so 3 requests, how you can put it together. This is how you can do it. This is how you can do it. So let me delete this, and now fine. Now it looks good. Now some points here need to be discussed. Okay, some points here need to be discussed. The very point the very first point, you have to take care about the space, right? Second point, you must have to make sure that you are passing the dollar badge from here, right? And the third point, here under the content type, you will have to pass like this. Okay, so a space part in beginning 1 and after this operation 2 space, right? Then a dollar batch over here, and then the content type, this one. So you will have to remember this particular stuff. However, I have already noted it down, but once again, just going to simply put it over here for your reference. So one is your URI should be in this format, and then your request should be there in this format, space and all, you'll have to take care. And then you should have this, the content type equal to these three points you have basically over here. Okay, so fine. And in more detail, in more detail, if you just go through the slides here, I have put it in more detail, the same thing. Okay, good. Here in more detail, you can just go and check it. Fine. Now, if you have to perform the post operation also at the same time, right? Along with this, if you want to perform the post operation in the sense modify operation, here we are having only the gate, right? Here we are having only the gate. Now, if you want to perform the modify, that means insert or update, if you want to put, or maybe if you want to perform the delete operation, how to do that? So for that purpose, what you have to do, there is a concept called change set, because you are going to do the modification, you must have to take care of, change set. So how to do the change set for the same, so uh, just let me put it down and come in the beginning, start with the batch 001 over here and paste it over here. And after this, content type, right? Multi-part mixed, just copy this and paste it over here. See what actually I'm trying to do that inside this batch operation itself, inside this batch operation itself, I want to fire a update or create query. Okay, so whenever you are having the batch, does not matter if you want to have the query operation or create operation or update operation, every time you are going to use the post. Okay, so don't relate this post with the post which I am talking. So the currently the post which I am talking over here means for creating the record. Okay, for creating the record. So here content type is multi-part mixed and boundary equals to, here boundary will have to define. So under the batch you are trying to define the boundary. So this boundary I'm going to define for the modify operation. This boundary I'm going to define for the modify operation. So change set underscore 001 or any name you can give, so that the system will understand, okay, the modify operation have been started now. Okay, so this is the content type, and after this you can start. So give at least a one a space over here, and then double hyphen and this change set name. That means you are starting the change set. So inside the batch boundary, inside this batch boundary, you are having another boundary, another nested stuff, right? So this is the main boundary and this is the sub boundary. Inside this main boundary, you are having the another operation you are trying to perform. So in the same way, for starting hyphen hyphen, for ending, you will have to do what? Can you tell me for ending what you have to do? Hyphen hyphen. Means if you want to end the change set, you will have to do the hyphen hyphen. So hyphen hyphen change set underscore 001. And here you can do the stuff what you want to do. Okay. So let's go and write it. So here the content type, again, you will have to define. So what's the content type you are going to pass? That's nothing but the application HTTP. Then the content transfer encoding, right? So same thing it's going to be, let me copy and paste it over here. Okay, fine. It looks good. Both is fine. And after that, you can perform the post operation. Okay, so post, and what you want to post now. Okay, what you want to post now? I want to create a business partner. I want to create a business partner. Okay, so just copy this, all this stuff, and put this in Notepad. I want to show that you will have to create the payload, right? So just have, for creating, for creating a stuff, you will have to create the payload. So let's go and do this. Click on this get button and I have a payload over here, BP set, and we have this one. Copy this here, Control V, and then click on this execute button. Right, and put into the JSON format because it's easy to read it. Question mark dollar format equal to question mark dollar format equal to JSON. And sorry, spelling mistake. Now you can see that we are having, right? So user request this one, and first let us see whether it's working fine or not. Remove this and give some different name over here. The email ID must be, different. So just I'm giving the different email ID and remove this created at. Okay. So this is what to create for business partner. I'm doing, select this post and remove this, remove this. Okay. So ETBP set, you will have to pass it. Fine. Come here, click on this execute button and see it got created 114. It got created. You can see that here 201 got created, right? So this payload is perfect. This payload is perfect. I can use this payload for the same purpose. Okay, so I will be creating the payload. Just I'm putting it over here for my reference. I'll be showing you how you can create the payload over here. Remove this now, and again, like this also will have to remove, and use the $batch over here. And now we are going to see first a single business partner ID post operation. That means the post operation for the single business partner ID. So what I'm going to do that, I'm going to copy the code for this same over here. And what's the addition we have to use, so for get operation, this is what we used to write, right? Let me copy this complete one over here, and I will show you for post what changes we'll have to do. Okay, so batch underscore 001, and then just after this you will have to tell to the system that content type is equal to multi-part mixed and semicolon, and then boundary equals to change set. So I'm defining the change set. This name can be anything. I'm giving change set underscore 01. And then after that, you will have to start I will have to start the change set operation. So to start the change set operation, just give the change set underscore 01. Okay, and then define the content type is application HTTP and content transfer encoding binary, the same as earlier. And here you'll have to give the post instead of get. And when you are using the post operation, no need to pass the key over here. And then HTTP 1.1, it's going to be same. And if you are going to keep this accept application / JSON, then the return is going to have over here in the JSON format. So I will be showing you that one later. Let me remove it. Okay. So it looks fine at this point of time. Let's and now you will have to prepare the payload in the JSON format. Okay. So here some more header you will have to pass. So SAP context hyphen accept colon header, and then we have to pass, you will have to tell to the system that you are passing the payload in the JSON format. So content type is application JSON. So this payload we are passing in the JSON format. Give the 2 space, and after that we can copy this payload from here. Just copy this payload and use it. Okay, once it is done, close the change set, copy and close the change set. You have to close it, Control V, and give double hyphen for closing, and then for closing this batch also just give it like this. Okay, that's it. Let's go and see. This email ID should be different so that it will be created test OData class 1, and now it looks good. Let's fire this execute button. Okay, and here you can see that 202 is accepted, and it's showing the created also, right? Application atom XML, right? The content type it's returning into the by default format is XML. Okay, and it's showing that created also. That means the post operation what we have passed, this is successful, correct? And now everything, the one which have been created, the business partner, the new business partner is this one 162. Even you can go quickly and check it 116. SNWD underscore BPA, give this value over here and see when it has been created. So just now it has been created over here, right? So the user is this one, user email address, right? You can see that email address test OData CL1, right? That means the one which we have just created. Good. This is how we can create the, uh, post operation, right? Now, suppose if you want to perform the multiple post operation, then what you will have to do, and some more thing, like suppose if you have over here, if you're not giving the space over here, right? Not giving the space, is it going to have any impact? Let's go and see it. So C11 it was, I'm just giving C12 and click on this execute button, right? You can see that that is not having any impact and it has created the another, so here after the JSON not need to be given any space. After this change set, do you have to give the space before this, sorry, control G, let's go and check. Okay, so now again you will have to change this one. So similarly you can check the different scenario. Okay, and here also you can see that it's working fine and different business partner ID got created. So here also the space is not creating, either you give the space or not, it's not created. So important thing is before the post operation, minimum 1 and maximum 2 space is required. And after the post, see, this is the part of this post operation. This particular stuff is the part of this post operation. So it should be attached together. There should not be any space. And after this post, you must have the 2 space. Okay. Okay. So after this post operation, here let's give the 1 space and check how it's going to work. So the concept over here is, even if you give the 1 space, it will work. The reason behind that actually, after the operation and starting the new operation, after the operation, and if you have another operation, so before other operation, again you will have to start with the batch, right? So before this batch you must have the 2 space, but here you can see that here we are not starting a new batch, so here single space is also fine. Okay, here single space is also fine. So here 2 space is not required. Okay, so you can just change over here, give the 6 and click on this execute, and you can see that it's working and it has again created the new business partner ID, even you are giving the single. So minimum 1 space should required. If you don't give any space over here, it will give you the bad request. See, it's the a bad request. Even if you are changing the customer ID also, it will be going to tell you the bad request. So minimum 1 space is required. So hope it is clear. Now let's suppose if you want to have the 2 post operation together. So what you will have to do, the same thing, just copy from here everything. Okay, copy from here everything, and second we are going to create. Copy this one and here just simply giving control V over here and batch 001. You can see that. So here again new I am going to start, so make sure to give the 2 space, batch 001 content type, and here the second change set I am starting. So you should know that inside one change set you can have only one modify operation. That means a single insert or update or delete. Okay, in single change set it's single insert operation only possible. So change set 01 content type application HTTP, here you'll have to give the 02 because here it's a 02, right? Application is the other thing is fine, it looks good. Here I'm going to change the from 6 to maybe 8, here, and other things looks good here. Give the 2 and batch underscore 001, right? So the same thing, just I have copied, paste, and did some stuff changes at the change set level. Other thing is fine, right? So let me go and execute this one and see. So here I'm giving the 20. This is the email ID 20, and another is the make sure to give the unique email ID. If it is already existing, it will give you the error. And let me fire this execute operation, and you can see that it's working, right? So first one also 201 got created, and the second one also 201 got created. Here 169 and here 168. So two different business partner got created. And if you want to see this data into the JSON format, you will have to here give the accepted format as a JSON format. So just write over here accept as a JSON format. Okay, so application application slash JSON. Okay, so both I want to accept in the JSON format. So here also I'm just going to give the JSON, and now if you see that the response will be there in the JSON format 21, and here for the 22, and just execute this, and you can see that you are getting the response here in the JSON format for the first and for the second also. So by default, it will be there in the XML. And if you want to put in, into JSON, we'll have to write like that. Now, if you want to put the read operation also together, so already we are having the, 3 read operation over here. So let me directly copy this and we will paste it over here, and you will see that it's going to work like charm. Okay, so here see you have the one space. Make sure to give the 2 space 001 001. So this space thing you can also experiment, but generally this is what happens when you are going to start the new batch. After this operation, make sure you have to give the 2, and before that at least single and maximum 2 space should be there. Okay, now looks good over here, and just change the email ID. Here also changing the email ID and fire the query, execute, and you can see that 202, and here the first also got created, second also got created, and now retrieval part, right? So for the retrieval part 200 means retrieval is successful. Okay, here we are having the retrieved data into the JSON format, right? This is what we are passing 13, and it's returning the data. We want to see the detail, press enter over here, and press enter, so you will be able to see the so BPID, you can see that BPID, BP role, email address, and all, it's returning it over here. Similarly here also you can go and check it out, right? So here also BPID, BP role, and all, it's the data is returning. So all the 3 records it's returning along with the post operation. Hope now this concept is crystal clear how to use the batch operation. Some advanced concept I will be discussing into the tomorrow class related with the batch operation. Thank you for attending the session. If you have any question, feel free to ask, or let's stop it over here. Okay, then bye-bye. Have a nice day.